up, boils and ghouls? It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And guess what, kiddies? You are now tuned in to PVD Horror Podcast. Pleasant screams.
Hey, what's going on? You're now tuned in to the PVD Horror Podcast. I'm Brandon, and today I'm joined by actors Madison Lawlor and Orion Smith to talk about their new film, Conjuring: The Last Rites, which is set to release in theaters on September 5th. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. So, back in May, Entertainment Weekly released photographs of you both confirming your roles as young Ed and Lorraine Warren. How was this entire experience for you both?
I mean, it's been incredible. I think it's been exciting from start to finish, and being able to join this franchise and this world that they've created it's a blast. I mean, it's really exciting and fun and epic.
I totally agree. Yeah, like total whirlwind, from getting the audition to getting the callback to actually going, overseas and filming this. And then, for a period of time, like not being able to talk about it, but then Entertainment Weekly releases it and it's like, now you go, but still like having other stuff you can't talk about. So I'm just so excited for, the movie to come out, and I think audiences are gonna really enjoy it.
So, The Conjuring: The Last Rites is the 9th installment of the Conjuring universe franchise and the 4th film featuring Ed and Lorraine Warren. How did you both prepare for your roles?
It was interesting. I think this is my first time playing a real person, and also someone who's being portrayed by someone else. So it was a mixture of doing research about the family, about the Warrens, and then also studying Vera's performance of Lorraine in all of the previous films and talking to Vera. And she has such an amazing wealth of knowledge about Lorraine, and she was such an open book. And studying her performance religiously and then talking to her, she was super helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think doing the research of the real person and really getting into like who are these people and what cases have they done, what experience have they had, and then meeting Patrick Wilson, like getting his take on it and what he's done for the role, and just getting advice from him was so useful. And watching the movies over and over again, really just trying to absorb that and take in their awesome performances.
With this being the last chapter in the Warren saga, the film is expected to examine one of the most difficult cases. Can you both talk a little bit about that?
There's not a whole lot we can say, but the Smurl case is really, I think it's an amazing one to end on. There's so much to explore there, and I think that the audiences are absolutely going to love it.
I agree. And yeah, Smurl case, again, definitely can't release any details, but there is so much that has been documented already of the real case. So I think fans check that out to get hyped up for this film. And I think it won't disappoint.
Now, have you both had any paranormal experiences at any point in your lives, either before or after making this film?
Man, I think before I didn't really have anything, but there was one moment while I was researching, I spent all day, looking up all the cases they've had and looking up everything. And then that night, no other night before, I just couldn't sleep. I had this feeling like something was there. And I at the time I was doing the rosary because I was like, yeah, Ed would do the rosary. So I had one, and I turn on my lights and I'm just sitting there with my rosary. And I'm like, I don't know why. Something feels like it's here. I'm going to hold this tight and just survive the night. And I made it. So that's good.
Okay. There
is a story of us on set. It was during our first scene. I think it was the first take. And there's sort of a break in the scene, a pause. And during that break, the door behind us opened on its own, and it was not supposed to happen. And everyone on set, all of the crew and the cast, we were just like, whoa, that was crazy. And it was the first scene. It was insane. And it was goosebump, chill inducing.
Yeah.
Now, what were some of your impressions of joining the franchise with a seasoned filmmaking crew that has been collaborating for over 12 years? How did you find experience working with everyone, and what did you learn from this project as actors up and coming?
I think just such absolute professionals, all around. Everyone's just so good at what they do. And, Michael Schaaf's the director, has such a clear vision, and working with him was so great because he's also a true horror fan.
Mm.
So you can feel that on set and feel his excitement, and that gets you excited. I remember there's one moment he's like, "All right, and then here's where the audience is going to be scared," and I was like, "Oh, you know already, like you've already thought this through," and like that whole thing was just so cool to be there.
It was incredible. I mean, you're working with this crew just of top absolute caliber, and just absorbing stories that different people had to say on set was amazing. But also, I think something so special for me about this film is everyone was so kind, and there was just this aura of supportiveness. And we're doing this crazy thing, we're in these crazy scenes, but I everyone on that set was just genuinely so kind and really was working together. Like, it's such a team sport, and it really felt like that.
According to Michael, Annabelle is set to be featured in the film, and he stated it wouldn't make any sense to end the franchise without her. Can you both share some of your personal experiences growing up with the doll on screen?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think just like franchise in general, Annabelle and The Nun, both
Okay.
specifically, like kind of got under my skin. That
Yeah.
moment with The Nun, I forget which movie. I think it might be the second one where it, like breaks through the painting. That specific moment, I remember like freaking me out so much. Um, yeah, but then I mean all this stuff going on with Annabelle right now, like Madison, you were saying,
Yeah, and
yeah.
Annabelle's really been making a splash in the news
Yes.
recently. I'm like, God. Yeah, I had a porcelain doll growing up, and I as a little girl, I wanted a porcelain. I remember one Christmas I asked for a porcelain doll. I don't know why, but
Mm.
and then I saw Annabelle, and I loved this doll. I loved this doll growing up. And then after seeing Annabelle, I never saw that doll the same. And I was never new to be scared of dolls until Annabelle, but she definitely affected my relationship to dolls. I was like, okay, porcelain doll, you're going in the closet. I don't want to look at you when I sleep. But yeah,
Yeah.
Annabelle's been crazy, right? She's been in the headlines recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been missing. They found her, and it's been crazy because what comedian Matt Rife has been
Yeah.
making headlines for purchasing the Connecticut residents of Ed and Lorraine. What did you guys feel about that? After portraying Ed and Lorraine in the film.
I wouldn't want to own their house. I think it would make me nervous. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
powerful energy, and I don't know. I would be scared.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they were there for so many years, and
Hmm.
I mean, all those artifacts and stuff. Like now that Matt Rife is in possession of that, it's like, we'll see what happens.
To each
Your
their
call,
own.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's actually trying to get the house from the original Conjuring, which is located in Rhode Island from where I'm from. So,
Oh, wow.
good luck with that.
yeah,
Is he
right.
just a massive fan of The Conjuring? Do you know? Or what?
Yeah, he's a big fan of horror, so I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's like
Okay.
it's a good choice, you know what I mean? So it's a cool, being from Rhode Island, people, usually take advantage of it, and so it's hard for people to kind of like live in that house where people come in and knocking on the door and wanting to take pictures. But it's cool to see someone, own it with
Yeah.
his status, so that's
Hopefully
what
For
it
I'll
can
sure.
say.
live on as sort of like this artifact place instead of
Yeah.
a
And
res-
so like earlier I said Michael also brought up about Annabelle and you guys brought up the nun. He's saying that Annabelle could be the main mascot for this franchise, but the nun is close to second. Who would you guys choose to
I
be the
feel
mascot?
like the nun is such a horrifying kind of entity in these films
Yes.
that I feel like her presence doesn't need to be seen as much as it's felt. And Annabelle's a more visual reference, I would say. So I would say from a visual reference standpoint, from a popcorn bucket standpoint,
Yes.
Annabelle makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think the nun's present is felt throughout. I mean, she's so scary to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I
just
think that's a
different.
good answer.
She's an energetic.
Like you just brought up about the popcorn bucket, the internet's been going crazy about that too. Are you guys able to get your hands on one already or no?
Not yet, but I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta get on that for sure.
Now, can you tell fans something that can like push them to go to theaters to let them know they should see this on the big screen?
Absolutely. I mean, just like being on set, you get the immersive experience of
Mhm.
seeing, the light over here and the rain over there, all that kind of stuff. Really, when you watch a movie, watching it on your phone or on your laptop, it's not the same as going in and having the surround sound, soundtrack and seeing the screen like take up your peripheries. Like that's really to me, especially if you like want to get immersed in a horror, like that's the best way to do it.
Well, no, this is, you know, it's the final installment. Everything is bigger and everything is scarier. And there's all of these nuggets that if you've been following the Conjuring franchise from the beginning, I think you're really gonna love as an audience. But it's also like the whole point of horror is to go on this roller coaster and this adventure. And I think sharing that with people makes it just bigger and better. And it's going to be in IMAX. And I think this is just, it's
Yes.
a big film. It's big scares. And I feel like it's meant to be seen on the big screen.
I can't wait to check it out. Can you both tell the listeners where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, absolutely.
You go first.
Oh, Orion Smith, Orion Smith. Not a common name, so got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Madison Lawlor. My name.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much for coming on. And for everyone listening, make sure you check out The Conjuring, The Last Rites in theaters September 5th. You don't want to miss this on the big screen. And we'll be back next week for another episode. Until then, take it easy.
Game over.